Hello and welcome to another random reviews video. For tonight's episode, or I don't know if it's gonna publish on in the morning, it doesn't matter. So for this episode, I'm gonna talk about something that I acquired recently. So I have no reviews to say about the items per se because I just got them. They look good, they feel good, but I guess that in time I will let you know uh, how they perform. Uh, Tonight's video is gonna be a do-it-yourself version. So let's go really quick over the items. So this, I found a garage sale close to my daughter's house, and I couldn't go the first time I saw it. So next day I had to go to pick something up at her house. So before I got there, I decided to stop, and I got this. I got this and I got this. Three items. Talking about a flask, a pocket knife, foldable, folding knife, and a fixed blade for $5. Yeah, love garage sales. The brand is Uncle Henry's. You can look them up online. They still sell the brand, and they're like 15 bucks, $27. They're not very expensive, and they look nice. They look good. I've always wanted to have something like this to simulate antlers or wood or something like that. This is not the real thing. I'm guessing that this is just some kind of plastic. It feels good on the hand. I don't know, like somewhat balanced, I would say. Let me see if I can find the center of gravity for this thing. Let me see if I can do it before it makes no sense for me to keep trying to do it, and I am horrible at this. Here it is. So it's sort of balanced. I mean, it's kind of like where you grip it, you feel it, it feels good. Like I said, this one I've been using for, I would say, roughly, it's already in my rotation. Just like the other things I carry, I rotate the blades I carry daily instead of weekly. So I carry one different blade every day of the week until I, circle back to the first one. And I incorporated this one, let's say roughly 2 3 weeks ago, maybe more. Actually, no, almost 30 days ago, I think. Uh, So I'm still testing it. Let me see how it works. So far, so good. I mean, like I said, I have to open a lot of things. I caught a lot of plastic. I caught a lot of cardboard. I'm always using a blade for a bunch of different reasons. And it's performing. Hasn't broke. It's not broken yet, so we will see. The thing is that this fixed blade did not come with a sheath, and I would like to at some point, depending on what I'm going to do, carry this, because where I live you can actually carry certain sizes, and I believe this one is within the law. I haven't carried it yet because I'm not 100% sure, but you can actually own the blade and you don't have to carry it. But I decided to make the sheath myself because, again, it didn't come with one, and that's actually the item that I want to show you. So here's the end product. All this is handmade, cut by by hand, no machining. The only tool that I use is a tool that I have to make the holes so I can install these rings over there. This is an old bootstrap that looked kind of cool that I didn't throw away. If you're gonna get rid of your shoes or your working boots, make sure you save the straps because you're probably gonna use them if you like doing projects yourselves. These clips belong to an old magazine holster that I had and that I stopped using, so I removed the clips because I installed a new set that are better. What I didn't like about them is that they were like loop clips, so you have to put the belt through it. There's no way for you to take it off if you don't take off your belt. So I installed them here, and then I figured that for the pocket knife, it's gonna be the same problem anyway. So I ended up cutting them. I don't know. Let me see if I can show you. So I ended up, just sewing it off so that I can take it off my belt without having to take my belt off. And that fix worked fine. These things, I use screws to screw the clip to the back side of the sheath. And this is, I don't even know what kind of plastic this is. If you're like me, maybe you can understand, or if you like making projects, like handmade stuff and like building stuff. And I'm gonna go in detail what I did to this in a minute. You're probably gonna keep some things that people would consider to be garbage. So I have a small storage of pieces of plastic, weird parts that they look just interesting, and I figure I may use this for something at some point in time. And this is what this is. This plastic, actually, if you twist it hard enough, is gonna break. So now that I have two parts, it's a little more resistant, and you don't have to use this particular, and I don't even know what kind of plastic this is. It's very, very soft. You can buy even a waste basket or something like with a flat face, and you could probably do something like this. Or you can buy any sheet of plastic and do the same thing. It's not hard. So I wanted to have kind of like a blade-ish like look to the thing, and I wanted to look like carved wood and mimic the carvings on the grips for the knives, for the blades. So what I ended up doing was to just draw the marks on the plastic and then carve them out by hand by using some carving tools that I have. I do have carving tools. Let me see. Excuse me a minute. Let me see if I can show them to you if I find them. One quick second while I look. Oh, here they are. Perfect. Okay. So these tools are for wood carving. Okay, they're made to carve wood. I purchased this at a Michael's store not too long ago. And with the thought that I was gonna carve some wood at some point, because I like doing a bunch of different things. I'm kind of like autistic like that. I enjoy, handmade projects and that kind of thing. And this is a good tool to have. So I used specifically the smaller one, this one over there. It's kind of like a half a moon shape or something. And with that, it's very sharp, so you push it and you can actually guide it and kind of like do the grooves and that kind of stuff. So once I did that, I painted the whole thing, like I say, with white, because you need a white base, and you can see it. I did it I did it backwards. You're supposed to do all the painting before you install the parts, but I was kind of like focused on just getting the sheath ready, so I made it before I painted it. So I had to very carefully try to paint around the straps and try not to get the rings too deep, but I need to paint under the straps. So I'm like I said, I'm lazy, so sue me. I always say that I'm lazy. Just I my brain works differently. Just leave it as that. Let's leave it at that. So I ended up doing the carving and kind of like painting the white and then painting the brown, and after then I did the black. And this is the acrylic paint that I talked about on my other video for the holster and magazine carrier project that I custom paint it. And the idea, like I mentioned, was to kind of like mimic the same patterns that the blade has. I probably shouldn't be pointing this thing at me like that, right? It's kind of stupid. So let me see if I can show it to you without getting too far away from my mic. Okay, I think I can pull it this way. Okay, here we are. I changed the lighting. I changed the position of the light, so now I get better illumination from behind the camera. So as you can see, it's somewhat similar, not exactly the like the handle or the grip for the blade, but close enough, and I'm happy with the end result. So you can see this is a full tan blade, which means that it should be, you know, a little sturdier than all those half tan bladers, or I don't know how they call them. They're not full tan. They break usually at the base of the grip, because when you apply too much force, there's not enough metal to hold it or to give it strength, the strength that a knife like this needs. If you're doing like let's say you want to chop a piece of wood in two because you want to make a bonfire, and you start batoning this blade, it's probably gonna break if it's not a full 10. This one has a better chance to survive. Haven't tried that, probably will at some point, and if it breaks, I'll do another video about it. So remember that I mentioned that if you saw my other video, that you can choose if you want a flat collar to protect your acrylic, or you want a glossy collar to protect your acrylic. For this project, I went for the glossy one because the handle is kind of glossy a little bit, and I wanted to make it match as much as I could. But for this, I use nail polish, clear nail polish. So I asked my wife, you have any nail polish clear that you don't mind if if I damage the brush? You have to make sure that you wouldn't mind if I damage the brush. I don't want to sleep in the couch. And being the awesome wife that she is, she lent me one of the many many nail polishes that she has, nail polish that she has. And you know, it looks nice. This is just one application, by the way, so I just went through it. I didn't use the whole thing, just some, and it worked. So just to give you an idea, what I did with this is that once I had it like with the bootstrap together, because this is only being held by the bootstrap, I added a little glue afterwards, but just a little glue so it didn't, you know, come off on the edges. Like it wouldn't come apart, or it didn't come apart on the edges. So once I had it like this, I just inserted the blade over here to try and force the plastic to open up a little bit. But as you can imagine, it was opening up as on a V shape like this. It didn't have the curve of the hilt. Is it hilt? Or the grip? So I used a torch, a little torch that I have, like with a little gas tank, to warm the plastic enough so that I could bend it by hand. I didn't use gloves, and I kind of like burned my finger a little bit, but I have a weird pain tolerance for some stuff, so it's painful, but you can deal with it. I wouldn't suggest for you to do it like that. So use some gloves, like leather gloves or anything that would protect your hand from the heat. The problem is that if it has patterns and the plastic is really soft, since I'm not using a press, which is what you're supposed to use, but I don't have one, so I have to make do with what I have. You may mark the plastic, and it may have like whatever patterns your glove has. So if you can find like a leather glove that doesn't have any patterns on it, or maybe use something that is patternless to just press it, you can probably do the same thing without needing a press. The thing about using your hands is that because of your tact, it's easier to give it the shape that you want. Way easier. So that's kind of like why I went, I'm just gonna do it like that, like really quick, really quick, really quick. Ouch, ouch, burns, burns. Until it got the shape that I wanted. I warmed it a couple of times and then kept pressing it and pushing it in until it gave me the shape that I was looking for, which, as you can see, is not that bad. Not that bad at all, if I do say so myself. I'm kind of like happy with the way it looks. And even though it doesn't have like an awesome retention, I'm trying to think what can I do to make it to make the retention stronger. I was thinking about loosening this up and tightening them a little more, but since the plastic is not that strong, I'm sorry, it may break. So maybe, I don't know, just take it apart and put some kind of like maybe E6000 glue inside, so that the blade is rubbing against something like a rubbery substance, and it doesn't damage the blade. But the thing is that if I use this to cut meat or something like that, I will have to clean it every time I use it, or every time I put it on the sheath. I have to wash it off and clean it. And I don't think that's the way it works if you're camping or something like that. You just take the knife and use it, and then you wash it before you put it back on the sheath. So I'm trying to figure out what I'm going to do. Maybe add a little piece of plastic, like very thin one, with a little bit of glue or something, or just carve the shape inside and glue it there, so that when the knife is coming in, the blade is pressed against the back side, and it gives it a little more retention. I have a sneeze coming in. Wow, this is horrible. But this is a very easy project to do. If you have any fixed blade knives that don't have a sheath, and you don't want to buy maybe an expensive one, I don't know if I don't even know if you can actually get sheaths. Well, there's people that make them in leather, to custom made for whatever knives you have. So yeah, that was gonna be a stupid thing to say. But if you don't have the money to pay for something, then maybe this could be a good option for you. Make your own. I am thinking about making a press for bend or make holsters and magazine carriers and this kind of stuff with real kydex. There's a bunch of videos on the internet on how to do that. I just don't have the space right now to put it, but it's something that I have on my bucket list, because again, I like do-it-yourself projects. So cheap plastic that I didn't pay a penny for, boot straps from working boots that I don't use anymore, that I threw away some time ago, and I kept the straps. A $5 knife set that I got from a garage sale. A pair of clips that I repurposed from a holster that I had to ended up buying new clips so that I could keep using the holster. Oh yeah, I did buy this little rings over here, and I bought the tool that makes the holes to leather and soft plastics, and I bought the tool that actually presses these little rings in. So the way these work is that when you put them in, they have a little cylinder, a little tube that goes all the way to the other side, and then when you put the tool, you press it in, and it bends. Oh, I think I have the tool. Let me show you instead of just talking about it. Hold on. I think I have it right over here. Let me show you both of them. The good thing I didn't put all these things away. So every person that is thinking about gaining weight should get one of these. This is a lifesaver. So this is made to make holes in leather. So it has different sizes, if you can see, and then depending on how wide the hole you want, or how wide of a hole you want, you can like flip it until you reach the size you want, and then you just press it. It cuts the material, and then the little circle thing comes from inside. It's kind of like a confetti machine with a weird shape. It looks like an 80s hairdo. And this is the other tool that I was talking to you about. So once you have your ring installed, you kind of like press it like this. Let me see how I say it. So the cylinder part goes in the bottom, like it's kind of like a little anvil thing, and then when you press it, it bends it from the bottom. It works similar to how a stapler works. You see, when you staple paper, the staple like twists and comes back up, and it holds the paper from the top and the bottom. So this is kind of like the same thing these little rings do. So they bend and they go back up, and they hold the fabric or whatever it is you're installing them into. So I did it. I used kind of like a copper collar on the front, and then gold, and then silver on the side. Just because this is not expensive. This is not expensive. This is not expensive. This other thing is not expensive. It's like $15. Like I think I paid like 20 for this one, and then a full bag of those little rings. It was less than $5, and I didn't buy everything at the same time. But I ended up buying them anyway because I know I've used them before, and I knew I was gonna use them. So, oh yeah, forgot to say something about this tool. Hold on. Okay, so like I said, if you're planning on getting weight, you know how your belts, unless you have one of those core system belts that have the little straps that you can like get the right size all the time. It doesn't matter if you gain 2 pounds or you lost 5. You're always gonna get your right size. That's different from the belts that have the holes in them, because it's either too loose or the belt is gonna cut you in two. So with this tool, you can actually make a hole in between the holes, and if you measure it right, it looks professional. It looks as if the belt came like that, and you have several options and sizes for your belts, or you get a core systems belt. That's the best belt in my opinion, hands down. So anyway, not a lot, or not much more to say about this. It's just another do-it-yourself. This was fun. I actually completed the holster without the paint job, and I think it was like, I don't know, 2 hours or something. While I was watching videos and doing some other things, I would just kind of like, let me look at it, cut it. I didn't like the first shape that came out. This kind of like looks like bark from a tree, and it's kind of like a knifey shape, but kind of like a leafy shape at the same time, and that's what I was aiming for, and not too hard to do. I did cut this with X-Acto knives, and I did sanded it off just a little bit so that it was smooth enough. But I don't mind it looking rugged, kind of like think it fits the the sheath and the look that I wanted to achieve. That's it. Not a lot more to say. So, like I always say, without nothing left to say for now, and hoping that you guys are doing well. Um, God bless you all. Random Reviews, signing out.